Hey Eurovision fans, it's time for another Eurovision 2024 news update. Today's top stories: the existential crisis that is the new Eurovision 2024 slogan. I'm going to give you my thoughts. We also have the 16 acts announced for Spain's Benidorm Fest 2024. And also, will there be 41 countries at the contest in Malmö? All that and more, let's kiki. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Tom. I'm an Irish Eurovision analyst, and you can find all of this stuff on my Eurovision channel. So let's go to our first story, and we finally have the slogan for this year. It's United by Music. So if that sounds familiar to you, don't worry, you are not going crazy. It's the same one that we had last year in Liverpool. So the EBU have decided that they're going to keep United by Music as a permanent official slogan for the foreseeable future. Now, the reaction to this was pretty lukewarm on Twitter, some people getting very hot and bothered about it, turning it into SLOGAN-GATE 2024. But honestly, I don't mind it that much. I feel like quite a lot of the slogans anyway are just a lamer version of the exact same message every single year. There's not like huge variations on theme. And overall, I'd say the slogan makes up a very tiny percentage of my personal whole Eurovision experience. I'm much more interested in the songs, the artists, the hosts, the stage, and then specifically in terms of branding, I'm much more interested in the logo and the graphic design, those wipes that they use, the bits that come up before the artists start their song, and the little logo with the flag on it. That's the bit I'm really interested in. Some people on Twitter though are really upset about it. I didn't realize that the slogan was such an important part for some people. Usually after the slogan release day, I think I can count on my fingers the amount of times I see people talking about the slogan. With the general public, I don't think anybody will notice or care. I'd say 99.9% of them couldn't name a single slogan from the last 10 years. Of all the slogans to choose, I think United by Music is actually the best one. It was a great pun last year because the United Kingdom was helping to host and they were united with Ukraine. So it was like a great double pun. So it really worked. But I think it is overall just a great message. It's the purpose of the contest, uniting Europe together, bringing everyone together. And you know, a lot of the other slogans have the same theme, but of all of them, I think United by Music sounded the best and worked the best. So I think it's the correct one to choose. Now, as for the reasoning behind this decision, I was wondering if they realized it's something the general public don't care about. So maybe it's them trying to save some resources and money. We know that the Eurovision team right now are really worried financially. So I don't honestly know how much money you could actually save by diverting people away from inventing a slogan. I did a prediction tweet last May, and one of the questions on it was to guess or predict the slogan, and all the people who replied, we came up with like 100 different potential slogans in like an hour. So it's not a very labor intensive thing to do. So that suggests to me that there's another reason behind it. It's not financial. Maybe it's like a merchandise thing. It's easier to print merchandise if you have the same slogan every year. It could just be that it is a cost trimming thing. And even if they're only saving like €5,000 at this point, they're like, yeah, that's worth it. Nobody cares about the slogan. Let's save €5,000 and give that money to Montenegro so they can put it towards their participation fee. The kickback from some people online has been pretty harsh. I do feel like with some people, it is more so just a venting of their frustration against the current direction of the contest right now. I know that there have been some unpopular decisions recently, but at the end of the day, I feel like the majority of them have been for the sake of the contest. Again, dealing with this like slight financial crisis that's going on. So for me, I trust the EBU and the Eurovision that they're doing what's best for the contest. I'm sure there's a reason and it makes sense. We just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Okay, our next story, you may have seen that we already have our first song of the year in November. So Slimane has been chosen to represent France in Eurovision 2024 with his song Mon Amour. You can check out my reaction to this song here. It was a really sudden announcement of both the artist and the song, no build up at all. We're still not entirely sure what the reason is for that. It could be to do with him being busy over the coming months for his tour around France and Belgium, or maybe they wanted him as an interval act for Junior Eurovision, which is happening in Nice in 2 weeks. Or it could be that he just wanted to use that song while he was on tour. We saw that Anouk refused to enter for the Netherlands this year because the release date of the song would have delayed the release of her album. So it could be something like that. Maybe he wanted to sing the song while he's on tour now, and he didn't want to wait until March because then that means he would have to leave the song out of his tour dates. It could also be that he just wanted to practice the song. You want to get better singing it, see how people react, maybe evolve the song, change things up, develop it on stage, and then when it gets to Malmo, we'll see like the final version. In any case, I hope this early release by France normalizes earlier releases of internal selections. So I get why national finals can change when they're released. They have to kind of stick to a schedule because they have the programming, their broadcasters trying to fill the slots at certain times. So that makes sense to me. But internal selections have a lot of flexibility in when their song is released. And right now we kind of get them all squashed together between like March 1st and March 10th. And sometimes they get so packed in that they don't really get their moment to shine because the person before them or person after them steals their spotlight. So I wish that a few more internal selection countries were willing to pick a slot in the calendar that's kind of empty and release then and get the full attention, really get big numbers on streaming, and then have their moment in the sun and get the most hype possible, instead of being sandwiched between two bangers and getting totally washed out in early March. It would also be much nicer for us as fans to have all the songs spread out. Like this being released in November, this is the best November of my life ever. So good. I would love if November became the new early internal selection drop month. That would just be amazing. Okay, so next up we have the 16 acts announced for Benidorm Fest 2024. The semi-finals are going to be happening on January 30th and February 1st, and the final on February 3rd, so all packed into 1 week. The songs are going to be released on December 14th. Very exciting early Christmas present for all of us. We're going to be bopping along to Spanish bops on Christmas Day. It's exactly what we wrote in our letter to Santa this year. There were rumors that we were going to get Sofia Martin and Megara, who competed last year, but it appears that they didn't make the cut. Now, I don't recognize any of the names. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. The good potential aspect of it is it's all new acts, so maybe they're trying to keep Benidorm Fest fresh, develop new artists. Maybe there was crazy stiff competition this year. We know that they broke the record for the amount of submitted songs. Some potentially bad aspects of no returning artists is it could potentially be a sign that people previously in the contest don't want to come back. Maybe because they don't like how they were treated or the format of the contest, stuff that's happening behind the scenes. We know that there are greater publicity demands of the artists this year. This was something that a lot of people in the Spanish fandom were worried about because they felt like those demands would be off-putting to established Spanish artists. In any case, we'll find out on December 14th when we hear those songs. So let's have a look at what was revealed. First of all, I love these visuals. They are really beautiful. They've got a little bit of nostalgia for last year. I can kind of see a connection, but they still look completely new. They look a little bit more cool, more modern in my opinion, like a little bit more neater and slick. Really vibrant, futuristic vibe, but with a retro color palette. So cool mix of future and the past. Let's also look through some of the 16 artists who caught my eye. So Amalcar, apparently he might be bringing some Afro beats and reggaeton, so that's super interesting. Angie Fernandez, she's kind of giving me edgy vibes, a little bit like Alice Wonder last year with Yo Quisiera. Then we have Jorge Gonzalez. So he's tried it for Spain 2 times before. The last time was in 2014. He looks like he could be an adult entertainment star, so I think he might take his top off, but we'll have to wait and see. We have Lyrica. So these guys seem pretty established. They have 14 platinum songs, I think. Obviously not albums, songs. And 9 gold songs. I actually looked to see if they had a Wikipedia page and I couldn't find it. It might just be that they have a Spanish one and not an English one, I'm not sure. But it seems like they're pretty successful, so that's cool. We have Mantra, who is a group who recently had a #1 physical album in Spain, so that's cool. Again, another chart topper. We have Maria Pelé. So apparently she is flamenco, so not disparaged by Blanca Paloma coming last in the televote last year. And then today, Blanca did come top 9 in the jury. So it's not like she super flopped. She still came 17th place overall and represented her country fabulously. So I'm glad to see that flamenco artists have not been put off from competing again. We also have Miss Cafeína, which I think it looks super interesting. Alternative electronic pop, and they seem quite experienced as well. So I'm hoping they're going to give us something very daring visually. And speaking of daring visuals, next up is Nebulosa. So this is actually a duet. We have a lady and then we have also a guy as well. And their music style is 80s synth pop. And it looks like they're probably going to be bringing super strong visuals. This nurse outfit doing surgery on a heart. kind of gives me Constractor vibes. So really exciting for this one. And then finally, Yoli Sa, also giving me super edgy vibes. Again, a little bit like Yo Quisiera from last year, looking like she's going to give us something thoughtful, singer-songwriter. So now I've just picked out a few there. I didn't go through everybody. Those are the ones who just kind of jumped out. Again, I don't know any of these artists. I don't recognize any of them. So I'm just going by the little descriptions that are on RVTE and just the impressions that it gives me from this tiny little circular photo. So yeah, it's a pretty superficial evaluation, but it's all I have to work with right now. If you are a Spanish fan or a Spanish music loving person, leave me a comment. If you know anything about any of these acts, give me the down low on them. Tell me who's hot, who's not, who's one to watch out for. I really want to know. And if you want to check out all 16 acts, you can do that on the RVTE website. Overall, I think it's a very diverse and interesting lineup. I'm super hyped for Benidorm Fest 2024. It's one of my favorite national finals. I think Spain has fantastic momentum right now and I want them to keep it up. So really looking forward to December 14th. Of course, I'm going to do a reaction to all the songs. Do not worry. I will see how I'm going to organize it because I don't know if they'll be split up into semifinals or not. I might have to do one big, gross, copyright-ridden video. Hopefully they will automatically split them up into the semis and I can do 2 separate videos, but don't worry, I will definitely get that song out as soon as possible. I've got another update for you on Czechia from their head of press, Ahmad Halun, who on Twitter posted about ESCZ, the Czech national final. It's coming back and it's going to be live on December 4th with an audience. The phrase is Christmas has come early, but in this case, Eurovision has come early because we're getting so much juicy Eurovision content before January this year, and I'm 100% into it. Spread that season out, bitch. Still no news yet on how many songs we're going to have. I think it's going to be 5. Still not sure if those songs are going to be released before the final or if we're actually going to see them for the first time on the show the same way as Melody Festival. So if you have any post-Eurovision depression, throw it in the bin because we already have a French ballad and now we're going to be getting Spanish and Czech bops very soon. So unfortunately, I'm actually flying back to Dublin on December 4th. Otherwise, if it wasn't for that clash, I would actually probably try to go. They are allowing people to apply to be in the audience and giving out press passes and whatnot. But yeah, the timing kind of sucks a little bit. So I'm disappointed I won't be able to go to ESCZ, but we're really looking forward to watching it. I will try and stream it live on this channel. I need to get my streaming software all done. Okay, for our next story, let's get an update on who is in and who is out. That's a reference for all the Project Runway fans out there. We're still sitting at 35 official confirmations, but, big but, capital letters but, we've had 3 slip-ups from 2 different heads of delegation about the amount of countries potentially attending this year's contest. Firstly, we had the French head of delegation saying twice in an interview that there are 41 countries taking part this year whilst talking about Eurovision 2024. Now this could have just been a slip up. She might have just picked a random number out of the air and just said it. She might have been thinking about a different year, who knows, but she did say it twice, so it wasn't just a one-time slip off. And then we also had the German head of delegation also slipping up and also saying that there are 41 countries this year. So one thing for sure is that this is one of the latest announcements that we've had in recent years. Usually we would have gotten the participation list by now. There are several potential reasons why this is happening. It could be that some of the countries, Romania, Australia, Montenegro, are still in negotiations, trying to work out how can we make this happen? Can you give us like a discount on the participation fee maybe? We haven't had official no's from any of those 3. We haven't had an official no from Turkey either. It's a big long shot, like really long, like you need a catapult to reach how long away it is. But you know, still, there's still no official no yet. So myself and others started speculating, well, if it is 41, who are these other countries? Well, we have the 37 from last year, plus Luxembourg, that's 38, plus North Macedonia, that's 39. Montenegro could be number 40, and then 41, Bulgaria or Turkey, I don't know. But we could get the release date and actually there's only 37 or 38 participating. I'm still happy with that. I think that's a healthy enough number. But if we do get 41, I'm definitely going to give Martin Oswald a lot of credit for that, because I feel like he gets a very hard time online. But if he manages to get 41 countries into Eurovision, I think that'll be down to him doing a lot of negotiation and encouragement behind the scenes. So I think this could be a small victory for him if he can pull it off. But at this point in time, these are just, well, they're not, it's a little bit more than a rumor, because this is two different head of delegations accidentally saying the same number. It's different if they'd said different numbers. If one said 41 and one said 39, it would actually kind of go, okay, it was just a mistake. But both of them saying 41, maybe Martin Oswald said to them in a meeting, we're aiming for 41, and that's the number that's stuck in their head. I don't know, but I would love 41. That would be really amazing. It would show the contest is really healthy and vibrant. And the more countries that are in, it reduces the participation fee for that year, so it makes it easier for people to attend. Very much so, the more is merrier. And our final story, we have some news on Greece. So in the last news update, I talked about Marina Sari being chosen to represent them in Malmö. Now we have news that 50 songs have been submitted to their selection, and also that no national final is planned. So I don't think this information sways me too much. I'm still super excited about Greece this year, and I still think their strategy should be the same as I said in my last news update. 50 is a pretty low number, but I would kind of expect that when you specifically say this song is for this artist alone, because a lot of composers will write a song with a certain sound that might not fit her, or they've written a song for a male vocal. So I would expect that number to be reduced when you say it's specifically for this one person. I'm still hoping though that no matter what happens, they let her have some input into the song, let her put her fingerprint on it so it feels really authentic to her and her sound. Finally, let's take a look at a couple of polls that I ran on the community page of my channel. So first of all, if you aren't subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel. It really does help me out. I'm looking for sponsors right now, and that's one of the things that they look for. So it's free, it bookmarks the page in case you want to find me in the future. So the first poll I did was, what do you think about the French song for Eurovision 2024? So we had 1.3 thousand people respond. 1% hate it. They hate it. They don't like it. 6% not a big fan. So it's a total of 7% not really liking it. 24% say it's okay. 34% say they like it, and 35% say they love it. Now, YouTube has this thing that you aren't allowed to vote in your own polls, which I find really annoying. I would have voted for love it. I do love this. It's in my love category. I don't think it's going to be my number one for this year. I kind of put it just on the cusp of love it above like it. But yeah, great to see that this has had a very good response. And then the second poll I did was about Luxembourg. What language do you think the song from Luxembourg will be in this year? Did I use the right flag? I did. This is going to be my paranoia this year, that I'm going to mix up the Luxembourg and Netherlands flags and people are going to lynch me. 1% thinking that it could be German, 1% thinking other, 13% thinking it could be Luxembourgish, which is a West Germanic language. Second place, we have English with 35%, and number one is French with 50%. I would agree with that. I think it's going to be French or English. I personally don't think the Luxembourg delegation has a strategy. I don't think they've gone into their song selection saying, we want a song in this language. I think they'll probably just choose whatever is the best song, and whatever language that happens to be in is what they'll choose. I don't think they'll ask the best song to change their lyrics into Luxembourgish. So I think it's actually going to be a little bit of potluck what language it's in. It just, whatever happens to be the best song's language. But I would love if it was in Luxembourgish. That would be so epic. Imagine Luxembourg came back with a Luxembourgish bop and won Eurovision. Next thing we know, it's Luxembourg 2025, united by music. Amazing. Just be like such an epic mic drop return to the contest by Luxembourg. Okay, that's it for my Eurovision news update today. No new donations on Buy Me Coffee, but thank you so much to Matthias for supporting me on PayPal, and also to Annika for supporting me on Super Thanks. If you do want to donate to the channel and keep it alive, I'll leave some links for you in the description. And of course, thank you to all my amazing patrons all over the world who support me on patreon.com. Thank you for your love and support. Make sure you check out my Patreon, where I post early previews of my videos. When any of my songs get flagged for copyright, I put the original onto my Patreon. So go check that out. But as always, thank you so much just for watching, and I hope to see you on another Eurovision news update very soon. Goodbye.